Hey guys, welcome back to Unscripted. I'm Brian.
And I'm Caesar.
And today we're going to be reviewing The Batman.
Yes, do it.
So, how was your experience with a 3-hour long movie?
So, during the movie, I can feel the length of the movie. Like, you can tell, like, hey, like, this has been going on for a while now. Mm-hmm. But I didn't have a problem with the length of the movie. It's kind of weird. I kind of like, there's sometimes I wish I was like, I wanted 5 more minutes. Mm-hmm. But it's like, at the same time, it's almost a 3-hour movie, you know? It's like, so it's like, it was interesting, but I don't have a problem with the length of the movie. I think it honestly could have been a little bit longer if it really needed to be.
So the night before, I saw the movie Studio 66, which is like from the Foo Fighters and Dave Grohl. That movie was 1.5 hours, and that movie personally felt longer than The Batman, even though The Batman had a runtime of 2 hours and like 50 minutes.
Yeah, so I think it does like I said, it does a really good job of exactly. You know,
keeps you interested. It knows how to make a mixture of like the high intensity moments, and then some of the dialogue moments.
And I think we get that really big like car chase scene that's probably about 2 hours in. Yeah. So like, even though it's like you're 2 hours in, you're still getting a lot of good action that kind of gives the movie a good flow.
Dude, I love that scene where Cabo Oswald,
the Penguin, yes sir,
the Penguin, where he's like, I got him. And you just see the Batmobile that's all American muscle just flying through the sky. I like that shot where the Penguin's upside down and then the Batman starts walking while the fire is behind them. It gave him, like, you could see the Batman, but you can't see him. It's pure shadow. Yeah. And the Batman lives in the shadow, so I thought that was awesome cinematography.
No, yeah. Kind of something that I really like about this movie is, even though it is an action movie and there's a lot of action in it, at the end of the day, it's more of a detective film. Mm-hmm. It's a different kind of Batman movie that we haven't gotten yet. I think when we look at the Christopher Nolan, it's like 60-40, where you get enough of the detective in there to make it feel like Batman, but it still focuses more on like the physical performances and like the action. This one I feel like has a bigger emphasis on the detective work and just adds action to make the movie fun.
Yeah, I think with the Christopher Nolan movies, at least the first two in particular, you get a larger scale of the world and Batman's reach. Like the fact that he's dealing with like the League of Assassins and Batman Begins, and then in The Dark Knight, like he goes all the way to China to kidnap somebody. Yeah. You know, we don't get that in this new Batman. It's all in Gotham and some of the nearing cities. Mm-hmm. But I kind of like that. We get to see a Batman that's supposed to be the greatest detective, which I make the reference to in the movie. Mm-hmm. But it isn't comical and I'm going to laugh at you, and more like, it has some moments where I'm going to laugh with you. Yeah. And it's all coming back to like it being grounded in Gotham, being the detective, and I think it gave it a good feel as a lead-off movie.
I agree. So I think it does a good job of piggybacking off of the Christopher Nolan type of feel of like a comic book movie, where it feels like it's in the real world. Yeah. Even with like some of the Marvel movies that are really grounded, you still get that supernatural feel, superhuman that like lets you distinguish, hey, that's a movie, it's not reality. Yeah. Like you get a very grounded feel with the Christopher Nolan movies, and I think this movie does a good job of picking back off of that. I think this movie is even a little bit darker than the Christopher Nolan movies, which personally I liked, because Batman, it's a dark character, it's a dark figure, the dark past. I like that we don't like, there's his origins in it, but it's only reference.
Not repetitive.
It plays its part in the story, but it's not the story, you know?
Yeah, they only mention it where they're trying to lead you to believe that Martha and Thomas were bad and corrupt. So it's not a whole retelling of them getting robbed and being shot. It's just they go over the fact and they let you know that yes, his parents are dead.
Yeah.
But they go down a different avenue, which I thought was refreshing because I was worried. Oh, we're gonna get the montage of a young Bruce.
Yeah. So I think they use images from the Christopher Nolan, if I'm not remember, like that young Bruce. I don't know why I feel like it looked like the young Bruce that we got in the Batman Begins movie. I might be wrong. I might have just like associated it, but I do like that. It doesn't do an origin story. This is like I think it's like he's like in his year 2. Yeah. Where he's been around, but he's still developing. He's still learning. He's still developing his reputation. Yeah. I think the movie does a good job of implying that. You get those couple scenes where, towards the beginning, where you see a crime and the villain or the bad person looks off into the shadow, and you're like, "Oh, Batman's gonna pop up," because it's like he's like you kind of get the impression that he's still dealing with petty crime.
He doesn't have the name Batman yet, like people might know like, hey, that's a bat symbol, but he's still growing that presence and that mystique where people might think like, oh, he might be looking for me, he might be in the shadows. And I do love that scene where crime's happening around the entire city, and as soon as they see the bat symbol, they all stop and they get frozen, they start looking around and they stop. I like that. I also like another part of the movie where we get to see the relationship between Batman and Gordon and how that's built, that trust. Because in all the other movies, because we know the comics, because we know the animated series, we just rely on, yes, they trust each other, but this is showing you why they trust each other and how they have each other's back.
Yeah, so I really do like how, like, in this one, like, you kind of get that a more natural feel, like, hey, like, why is a vigilante in this room? Like, the police are against him, like, he has Gordon on his side, but at every step, the police are like, why is he in here? He's breaking chain of custody, he's doing this, he's doing that, but Gordon's there like, hey, no, look, he's wearing gloves, he's here as my advisor. It's like he's in that like advisory role. So I like that connection that you do get with Gordon and Batman in this movie.
I love that that scene you just referenced where one of the detectives is telling Gordon, like, what about chain of evidence? And Gordon's like, well, he has gloves on.
Yeah.
Like, this movie had a few jokes in the right spot where they weren't trying to force the comical relief. Like in the scene where they're in the parking garage and they have a thumb drive. And it's a drive.
Thumb drive.
They put, like, use the thumb drive. Like, it just had its moments where the comical relief was just perfect to try to, and I think that plays more into the fact that the movie was flowing perfectly. It didn't feel too long.
Agreed. So we've been talking a few minutes now here. We haven't mentioned the Riddler yet. So what are your thoughts on the Riddler? Just overall, is his role in as a villain in this movie?
So for the first 75% of the movie, I loved Paul Dano as the Riddler. I thought he was maniacal, twisted, aggressive, violent, smart. I think once he gets caught, and we see that he's someone who's like using social media to radicalize people, and he's just kind of like a crybaby. After he gets caught, the performance goes down for me. And I don't necessarily think that's based on Paul Dano. It might be the script.
So I see that a little bit differently. I thought, again, this is somewhere where, like, so I think this movie is very reminiscent of The Dark Knight. I think it copies a lot of The Dark Knight, not in a bad way. I think it does a good job of paying homage to that movie. But in The Dark Knight, you get the Joker gets captured, but it's part of the plan. I think that was his thing here. He's like, I'm going to get captured, but it's part of my plan.
I don't agree. Because I think the Joker was like 5 steps ahead and he was trying to get all the police in the precinct. When Paul Dano's the Riddler knows that he's going to get caught, yes, he knows like he's giving up the clues, but he doesn't have a plan for once he's caught.
But he did, though, because he still had the bombs in effect.
I know, but he didn't have a plan for himself, for like his freedom to create more chaos. He had already laid the traps for the bombs and got people radicalized. Like the Joker,
so I think
he was gonna get out and still try to kill the Batman. The Riddler was like, I'm just gonna blow stuff up while I'm in prison.
Okay, I can kind of see where you're coming from. I don't think his end game was to. I don't think he had accomplished his plan to the point where he needed to be involved. Well, there was more to do that was still in place, but you get that realization that he lived across that club the whole time.
Yeah.
So he
saw everything.
He's seen everything. That's how he's so ahead of the game. And he could have gone anywhere, but he intentionally goes to the cafe to get caught. So
which didn't make sense to me because he still had one big piece missing, Bruce Wayne.
So I think that's a good segue point.
Yeah.
So, do you think?
Well, we still gotta say, like, to me, Paul Dano's Riddler was cut short at the end. He gave up, even though he still had to kill Bruce Wayne, which is going to lead to your question, which is,
does he know Batman is Bruce Wayne?
No, in my opinion, he doesn't.
Okay, so I'm going to take a quick step back and answer the question about the Riddler first, and then I'm going to answer my question about that. So I personally love this Riddler, how dark, how maniacal he is. I think the riddles are clever, they're funny, they're hard enough to figure out, and things like that.
Yeah, well, especially comparing it to Jim Carrey's, which is like over the top.
Yeah, I don't like Jim Carrey. So 100 times better performance. But so like I don't see him getting captured at the end as like a downfall for him. Mm-hmm. I saw it as, hey, like, it's part of my plan. He, at this point, he had exposed what he wanted to expose, and he was ready to move on to the next part of his life, which is going to be the aftermath, but he was just going to bask in the glory. He's like, my mission's accomplished. I can just bask in the glory now.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I saw that. I do think he knew he's Bruce Wayne. That Batman is Bruce Wayne. Because, you send, I feel like it's even in the comics where like Riddler like knows he's Bruce Wayne, but it's like, if everybody knows the answer to the riddle, then what's the point of having the riddle? So like he gets no benefit from exposing Batman, but I think he had the hunch that Bruce Wayne might be Batman, and let me go kill Batman, or let me go kill Bruce Wayne, and if Bruce Wayne dies and Batman shows up, then I know they're different people. If Bruce Wayne survives and Batman shows up, then Bruce Wayne is Batman. I think that was like the final thing where it's like, hey, yes, Bruce Wayne is Batman, and I think he said the way he sets it up in that scene where they're at the jail, it's like, hey, look, I'm gonna let you know that I know, but I'm gonna give you the out because it doesn't benefit me for people to know that you're Batman or that Bruce Wayne is Batman. There's no end game from it.
That was my initial thought process as well, until I started thinking about the movie more. Every time he kills somebody on his list, like the 5 people that he wants to make an example, he always sends the postcard to the Batman. Every time. It's the package with the duct tape to the Batman. When Alfred gets his, it's to the Batman as well. I personally thought with how calculated the movie was and how calculated his verbiage was, I thought if he knew that Bruce was the Batman, I thought that the final letter would have said for Batman or for the Batman. But it was the same verbiage on each one, to the Batman.
So that's where my point is. I don't think he knew 100% that Bruce Wayne was Batman at that point. Mm-hmm. But that was the answer to him.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm gonna have this final setup, and if the Batman comes back, then I know. Then does Bruce Wayne die, and then is Batman still around?
Yeah.
So I think that's what kind of I'm not gonna give it away yet because I I don't want to seem dumb and put a clue out there that's not a clue. So he couldn't do that if he was wrong.
And, like, honestly, we could see that is done on purpose so that he can come back in a later movie and potentially reveal later that that's Batman.
Yeah. So, again, with that, something that I wanted to see, I don't know if you heard or kind of got, like, or if you came to this conclusion. Obviously, we find out that a reporter was trying to expose the father, Thomas Wayne, and that inadvertently his actions led to that reporter getting killed
by Falcone.
Falcone. It's never really answered whether it was Falcone, Maroni, or it was just a random act.
No, I thought Falcone admitted it.
So when he talks to Falcone tells him, "Hey, your dad came to me,
and I handled the business,
and it's Maroni had a lot to lose, so Maroni had him killed."
No, he's saying that Falcone says Maroni had a lot to lose by how much your father was relying on me. So he's implying that Maroni killed Thomas.
Yeah, so Maroni killed Thomas.
But Falcone admits that he was the reason that the reporter was killed because he says your father offered him a lot of money.
No, yeah. I'm talking about who killed Thomas.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I'm pretty sure it was Maroni.
So Falcone says it's Maroni. When he talks to Alfred says it's Falcone.
Falcone.
So you're like, so maybe it was Falcone.
Yeah.
But it's like Falcone, Maroni, and it could have just been it could have just been a random act, Yeah. So I don't think that ever gets answered. But my point with that is the reporter that got killed had a son. Mm-hmm. And that's the Riddler. That's how he's a part of this.
Is that true?
So I haven't seen this confirmed anywhere, but I've seen this as like floating around out there. And when I was watching the movie, the thought crossed my head, but I was like, nah. But I've heard other people talk about it,
and nobody else has mentioned this.
I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it confirmed by the directors or anything like that. But that's kind of like a theory out there that that's how he got orphaned. His dad was the reporter that got killed. So that's why he's so invested in this.
So the reporter's name was Edward Elliot. Let's see. What is the Riddler's name?
I don't know if it said.
The Riddler's name. Edward Enigma. Edward Nashton.
Yeah, I think that's his name in the comics.
But they'll usually be pretty accurate. Edward.
Like I said, I don't know. I haven't seen it confirmed anywhere. But I thought if that was the intention, that's a pretty good story plot that kind of ties everything together. Because it gives him a lot of motivation. Because, corruption and he's an orphan, but, I feel like just being done out, it's kind of like... I said, I haven't seen it confirmed anywhere.
Yeah.
But...
Dude, that is crazy. I didn't even put that together. That would make so much sense, though.
Right, exactly.
Dude, that's a good theory.
Yeah, so I really like that one. So if hopefully they do just claim it and just own it, even if that wasn't the intention, just own it. Yeah, that was that was our plan. Good job catching it, guys. Wink, wink.
Yeah.
But no, yeah. Honestly, I think it's just overall thoughts on the movie. Do you think this is the best Batman movie? And that's basically...
Right now, I have the Dark Knight 1. I know a lot of people have the animated, the Veil, Batman, Veil. I think The Veil is a good movie, but let's keep it live action.
Yeah, live action.
Do I think I like The Dark Knight more? Yes, I've probably watched that movie at least 50 times. Do I think in 2-3 years that the Batman could potentially overtake that? Yes. but I think it's just going to take some time. Definitely a second and third rewatch to pick up more stuff, where it will eventually be my favorite live action Batman movie. R.I.P. Heath Ledger, though. I love you.
Interesting. So, not a criticism of this movie at all, because I definitely feel like this movie is rewatchable. But I feel like this is one of those movies that kind of loses its suspense once you're in on the riddles. Once you know what you're looking for, you know where it's headed. You're not at the edge of your seat anymore.
Yeah.
Not that it's not entertaining anymore, because you're still going to enjoy watching the movie over and over again. Because I'm probably going to watch this movie 30, 40 times easily. But I feel like with The Dark Knight, even though you know what's coming, you're still kind of hooked in.
Yeah.
You're still just in that movie.
And I think that's because the Batman is so long. Like, personally, my least favorite part of the movie is once they're at Gotham Square Garden, or Gotham Garden.
At the end.
Yeah, like the Batman didn't save anybody, and I get it's the middle of year 2, and he's still learning, and it was more about him being a detective, but he literally saves the guy on the train station platform in the beginning of the movie, but throughout the rest of the movie, he never saves anybody, he never prevents anybody's death, and he doesn't help minimize damage or collateral. So I thought when the mayor-elect goes back to the stage to tell everybody, like, to get everyone together, I thought, okay, before they shoot, Batman's going to swing in, either save her or incapacitate.
What's going on?
Why is it solid red?
Isn't it supposed to be solid red?
Okay. Ooh, I got scared. He doesn't incapacitate the shooters. She still gets shot, and then he blows up the entire ceiling to get inside. I feel like, one, he should have probably broke one panel of the glass.
Yeah, I saw that too.
And, like, snuck in. Or if you're gonna blow it up, and, like, because you're like, I need to get there quick, grappling gun, swoop down, save her. But he doesn't. Like, so that's what I don't like about the movie, and that's why I don't think it's the best Batman movie ever.
So I saw that scene, and it looks like placed explosives to properly detonate this thing. You know, it's not just one big boom.
It's like a bunch of little bombs that blow up the entire.
So it's like was he up there the last 5 minutes setting up these charges to make a big entrance? I saw that. Yeah, I think that's just like an error. But yes, like, she gets shot and it's never brought up again. She walks through the water fine. Like, doesn't have a limp on her at all. Like
that whole scene, I did not like.
So yeah, I thought the final action scene was a little lackluster, to kind of put it your way. Yeah. He's fighting these, like, he's struggling to fight these mercenaries, like YouTube serial killer, you know, just gonna shoot up the world type people. You know, it's like they're shooting him with, like, grenades, and he's, like, flying backwards from a shotgun shot. It's like, dude, no shotgun shot's gonna shoot you flying and 50 yards, like 10, 15 feet.
The other thing, I really like this movie a lot, but it's like he's just walking right at people, shooting them. Like, yes, your suit is bulletproof, but dude, your face is exposed.
Yeah, so
one bullet through the jaw, you're done.
Yeah, there's a lot of times where he gets shot, and it's like, I feel like he would have got shot in the face by now.
Yeah.
But because there's even the scene where they're back at the warehouse, where he's sitting next to the car and they randomly get shot from the side. Yeah. It's like they shot up his whole side. Like, they're gonna get face. Yeah. You know, so it's like, yeah, I think they do the whole bulletproof thing a little too much.
Too much, yeah.
Yeah, but no, yeah. For me, Dark Knight is still by far the best Batman movie. Mm-hmm. I think this one is competing for second place, though. Yeah. I think all of the, like, Tim Burton, 90s movies.
Well, Tim Burton only did one, I believe, which was a Michael Keaton one, which to me is in my top 3. That original Michael Keaton, because I'm looking at it as an aspect of, like, yes, can you play Batman? Yeah, check. Can you play Bruce Wayne? Can you? Check. And I think that's why I like the Michael Keaton. He plays both.
So, I agree. So, I think, talking to I think Robert Pattinson is a really good Batman.
Yeah.
He's a terrible Bruce Wayne. Terrible.
I don't think he's a terrible Bruce Wayne. It's just we haven't seen him in a position to be Bruce yet. Like, even in the beginning where he's supposed to meet these accountants, Bruce Wayne's supposed to be smart and tactical and quick-witted. Like, if the movie's already 2 hours and 42 minutes long, give us 3 minutes of us actually seeing him being able to go toe-to-toe with financial advisors and forensic accountants. Let us see the young Bruce mathematical and tactical mind going toe-to-toe.
No, yeah, I think, like, I don't know. I don't blame Robert Pattinson for like his acting or anything. I think it is just the role that is written for this film. Yeah. But like the Bruce Wayne is terrible in this movie.
But again, I don't think that's due to him. I think it's just due to the script.
No, yeah. I mean, I got Twilight Boy can act. You know,
he's more than a Twilight actor.
A little vampire that sparkles, but like no, the dude can act. Like. That's very apparent, but I think just the way Bruce Wayne is set up, it's a very bad Bruce Wayne. Yeah. But no, yeah, I mean, I think right now I would probably have this as second or third Batman movie, and it's just gonna be whether it stands the
test of time.
The test of time.
I think we'll get better as we give it more time. I think once the second and third movie end up getting released, I think more things will become obvious of why he was a little bit incompetent sometimes with his actions. And I think he'll be like, okay, like I already see that he's not supposed to be perfect. And I think a lot of people aren't giving him that leeway. But I think when we potentially get a sequel, I think it'll make more sense.
So I'm pretty sure we disagree on this. But when we look at Batman Begins, yes, he had his time doing the side petty thief work, and he spent time with the League of Assassins, League of Shadows, developing his skills.
Yes.
We don't know where this Batman developed his skills, or it's implied that he learned from Alfred.
Yeah.
So, do I see that as a disadvantage to his development? Yes, in a way. But when we look at him, like when we get to the Batman in Batman Begins, when he's barely learning the role to be Batman, I think he has just a way better handle of it.
Oh yeah, we don't agree. He had already been with the League of Assassins for years, where they're trained to be the best assassins, the best hunters, the best at being elusive. Plus, he already had Fox with all the technology for the Batmobile, the weapons, the sonar. He had way more time, experience, and technological advancements than this current.
This guy has a jet in his car. I think he has the
but
technology.
Do you see how they show you how like it's literally being built by hand, like lifted and like mechanically put together by stripping apart other vehicles. He's not necessarily relying on technology. He's relying more on brute strength and using his hands. Because he doesn't have that experience that the League of Assassins does. Like, yes, is Alfred a badass? Yes, he is. But Ra's al Ghul, Alfred, it's not even close.
Yeah, but I mean, you're still comparing Batman to Batman. You know, like at the end of the day, it's Batman to Batman.
Yes, but you're comparing a Batman with 5 years of elite level mercenary training versus someone who's training with someone who was in the British intelligence. Which is, yet again, British intelligence, awesome. World-class mercenaries.
But like, you think he learned everything from Alfred? You don't think he's taking classes and getting special training and all that stuff inside?
And you could also say that the Batman in Christian Bale's Batman was also trained by Alfred. So you can say they're both trained by Alfred, plus that Batman gets all the Ra's al Ghul training.
You're telling me that this new Batman had no special training. Everything he learned is from Alfred.
Possibly.
No, he's obviously.
We'll see if they include flashbacks in future movies, but we have to go off of the material in front of us.
I agree, and I'm not saying that they're gonna be like, oh yeah, he spent time with the League of Assassins too. Like no, but I think you get special training with jiu-jitsu and all that BS stuff, you know.
Yeah.
So I don't think he's like lackluster in the hand-to-hand combat, you know, like. But I just feel like that Batman in the Christopher Nolan just had a better handle of it. Because I think he plays the role of Bruce better.
Yeah.
He's able to kind of embrace that secret and like that front image kind of that you need to portray. But
I get you. What do you want to see in a sequel?
Joker.
No!
You got.
Don't give me the Joker.
You gotta.
It's not time.
What do you mean it's not time?
It's not time. So it's way too soon for this Batman to have his Joker. And the actor that they got for him, no, I don't want him. So all actors aside, even if we look at the Joker in The Dark Knight, he's had some time. He's probably like year 3, year 4 by the time the Joker comes around. Yeah.
So do I think we're gonna get like, hey, this movie just ended, part 2 is picking up right where it ended? No. As much as I think you have to do the Joker because you already like hinted at the Joker.
They shouldn't have. The whole movie is about the elite. The privilege, the secret society within the Batman, which is the perfect setup for the Court of Owls. Even if you don't do the Court of Owls, yes, you can go have Batman get spotted by Ra's al Ghul or someone from the League of Assassins. You can go have him train there. You can bring out the Scarecrow. You also have the perfect leadway to Bane. When he's on the catwalk, incapacitated, drowsy, and he injects himself with the
adrenaline.
Yeah. Dude, that's what Bane is. Bane is literally 24/7, has the adrenaline coursing through his body. Those would all be better sequels than giving us the Joker such a cop-out.
So, I don't think the Joker is a cop-out, because the Joker is as much Batman as Batman. Like it's just
you're not wrong saying that.
But like I said,
but it's too early.
So my thing is, what's like how do you progressively move on from this? Because I think we have a very true down to earth Riddler in this movie. I think the Joker that we get in The Dark Knight is a very down-to-earth, real type of persona. Mm-hmm. And I think we can have another take on that with the guy that's kind of like, that is more psychotic kind of thing in this real-world vibe. Mm-hmm. Do I think we're going to get Joker in the sequel? No. I don't think we are, because the way I see it is, if you do Joker in the second movie, then now you are just ripping off the Christopher Nolan. So I think that is going to be the only reason why they don't do Joker as the second villain. Something that another one that they can probably put in, Harvey Two-Face.
Harvey Dent. Yeah.
I think he could be a good...
That one would be good, again, because it's following the lead from the first movie. You're dealing with the corruptness, and you can get the new DA, because the previous DA literally just got blown up. Mm-hmm. So, like, bro, that's another one. Court of Owls, Harvey Dent, Two-Face are the two perfect segues for the sequel.
So like I said, as much as like I want Joker because Joker's iconic.
Yeah.
I don't think we're gonna get Joker yet. I think we need to bring in. I don't want to say it like a. I guess they are a second tier villain, kind of like Riddler.
Batman has the greatest gallery of villains.
Yeah. So I think if we do something in the sequel where you get, I think I forget which one it is. Is it the Tim Burton one where you get Two-Face, you get the Riddler, and you get Joker?
I think it's Batman Returns.
Yeah. So like it's just overkill, you know, like too many villains, not enough screen time. But like, if you're willing to do another 2 hours and 40-minute video like movie, I think you can get 2 realistic villains. So you can do like a Bane and like a Two-Face team up.
I was thinking Scarecrow, Bane to be them, or Court of Owls. Court of Owls have a deep pool. Like, not only are they the villains, they hire other mercenaries, which would bring in the League of Assassins. But I'm not even going to continue on that portion. I'm going to segue into this. It's not time for us to get the Joker because, in my opinion, Robert Pattinson can follow Tom Holland's lead where he's young enough to sign up for 6 movies. You could give us the Joker in movie 3, movie 4, where he's still learning the ins and out of Gotham, dealing with the political corruptness, which is what the DC comics have been. Then you use the Joker to catapult in movie 3, end of 3, early in 4, where now he's getting into the big world. Now he's dealing with major cataclysmic events.
So I think something where I feel like DC needs to get their shit together is their universes are so effed up.
Yeah.
Like, I think this is one thing where Marvel got it right, and it's kind of funny to see that DC is messing up going second.
Yeah.
Because like, we had the whole Christopher Nolan trilogy, and then they launched their own
Bat
flick, you know.
Horrible. Like, he's a guy who's a good Bruce, but he's a horrible Batman, in my opinion.
It's funny. I've actually heard the opposite. I've heard that he's a good Batman. I don't like him that much to either or.
Yeah.
But I've heard more people like him as Batman than they do as Bruce. But
I genuinely enjoy Ben Affleck as an actor. I do not enjoy him as the Batman.
Agree. But so like I feel like you have to use this to scratch everything else.
No. You don't want to do that.
But you have to, though, because, like...
No, so we're going to get Flashpoint, where, you know, the Flash has the multiple dimensions and the multiverse.
Yeah, the Flash movie.
Honestly, you can retcon everything by the Flash messing with a past event, where this is the new Batman. And honestly, it's so easily... Like, you could easily write it, and it just literally erases Batflick, brings in Pattinson, and then you can even get Joaquin Phoenix's Joker to be the Joker, not Barry Keoghan or whatever his last name is.
But, like, I think Gal Gadot does a good job of being Wonder Woman. But
Henry Cavill.
The first Henry Cavill was not coming back as Superman. He's done. He's done. They couldn't get him to do the cameo.
Don't say that.
So he's done.
He wants to do it though. Warner Brothers is just dumb.
So I think Gal Gadot is a good enough Wonder Woman. I have no complaints with her role.
Get rid of Patty Jenkins.
Those movies are trash.
The first one's good, but it's a ripoff of Captain America: The First Avenger.
The second one is trash.
Patty Jenkins, get her out.
I liked Aquaman. I think you're in the minority. Yeah. A lot of people along with me like Aquaman.
I like Jason Momoa as Aquaman in the movie. The storyline was alright. I'm more excited for part 2.
Sure. And then, like, I think Henry Cavill's a good Superman? Yes.
He is.
Are those movies good? No.
Dude, Man of Steel is a really good movie. Batman vs. Superman,
terrible movie.
Even the Zack Snyder Batman vs. Superman was still decent. Like,
You had to make it
No, I'm not talking about Justice League. Batman vs. Superman.
Oh, okay, yeah.
There's a regular Batman vs. Superman where Warner Brothers screwed up the script.
Yeah.
And then Zack Snyder had his cut, but it was still super interfered with.
Yeah.
The difference in the two was...
No, I get it.
The first one was like a D-, the other one was like a C+.
Mm-hmm.
But it's because they interfered.
Of course.
Justice League, his version, I gave it a solid B.
But it's 6 hours long.
It's 4.
He's same
They could have honestly been cut to like 3:20ish, and it still would have had a B.
I think you kind of just say, hey, we're gonna figure out a way to bring these people into this universe. Everything that happened over there, we're kind of forgetting.
So get rid of Patty Jenkins, horrible director. Get rid of Zack Snyder. His vision doesn't fit the universe.
Yeah.
But keep Cavill, keep Godot, keep Momoa. Get rid of Fisher. He's not a good cyborg. Get rid of Batfleck. You know, Ezra Miller, you're going to need him because he's going to be the Flashpoint. And you just go through there.
It's just, you have too many universes at this point.
Yeah, like, 3 right now. Yeah, it's too many.
Yeah, it's
just consolidate.
Yeah, and it's just like you're making your best movies when they're not touched to the DCEU.
Yeah.
You know, it's like so
the Batman, Joker.
Yeah, you know, it's like just let it go. It didn't work. But you can start over.
Yeah,
you can start over. Look, take advantage of I don't say Marvel's downtime, but they're focusing more on transition. They're transitioning more to TV series. You know, right now to kind of bridge this gap. You know, we're starting to get our movies in, but it's not, you know, Iron Man and, you know, these heroes that we're just like iconicized with now.
Not only are they taking their break, the studio that was supposed to gap the filler with them with Venom 2 and Morbius, Sony's dropping the ball. Yeah. So take advantage of it, Warner Brothers. Come on,
so
hire me. I'll get everything in the perfect timeline. Just pay me like $1 million, and I'll work for you for like 2 years, and I'll get everything straightened out. We'll keep The Rock. We'll keep Zach Levi, and I'll sort it out. Warner Brothers, give me a call. Link in the description.
But no, yeah. I mean, I think it's just it'd be interesting to see where we go with these sequels. But let's bring it back to the Batman, which is what we're here talking about.
Yeah.
Kind of wrapping it up. Is there anything that you would change or add to the movie?
Just that last sequence at the stadium. Change that. Let the progression be that he actually saved somebody, because we're seeing him grow. And 2, give me more Alfred. He was in the movie for like 2 minutes in a 3-hour-long movie. Alfred is such a mainstay in Batman. He deserves more screen time.
Yeah, I agree. So I think a little bit more Alfred, I think, would have been nice. I feel weird saying it, but give me more Bruce.
Yeah.
Give me more Bruce. Like, I feel like it's 2 hours and 40 minutes. Give me 5 minutes of Bruce to make it feel real.
Yeah, like I said, you could have gave us those 3 minutes in the beginning of the movie with the accountants, and we would have been fine. Because we can see he can go toe to toe and handle that Fortune 500 world.
Like even in that scene where he's at the funeral as Bruce, he feels so out of
timid.
place.
Yeah,
he's so like he's not in charge of the room. Mm-hmm. Like he's just like so like he doesn't belong there. Yep. And it's like give us a Bruce that is
command
Bruce Wayne.
Respect. Yeah, that has this.
Yeah, like in the comics, there's always 3 aspects to Batman, or to his saving the world. Him as Batman, him as Bruce, and then just kind of like the things he does on his own. So I think they need to add that in to expand this and grow this character. Yeah, because you can't keep it with him just as Batman the way it was in this one. I think people will get tired of it pretty fast if that ends up being the case, but.
There's room for growth, though.
Final thing. What's your final? How would you rate this movie?
8.9 through 9.2 as of right now, March 8th.
So yeah, I have it as a solid B+ movie, like 8.5 to 8, like maybe even a 9. Yeah. And I just think. Personally, I don't think this movie will get better with time. Mm-hmm. I think it'll just kind of settle into its place with time. Yeah. And the criticism that you have of it, you'll kind of like get over and just appreciate the movie. But
I could only imagine Matt Reeves' director cut at 4 hours, like what else he had in there.
But
all right, guys, thanks for watching. We appreciate it.
Definitely make sure to like and subscribe. Stay tuned for more. See you guys.
Peace out. So, deuces. First time I didn't do it. Gotta throw that back in there.